Hi, I'm Andres Aya with Stephen F. Austin High School Percussion in Sugar Land, Texas, and I also teach at Sartarsha and Garcia Middle School. I've been using Ensemble Block for almost a year now, and I just want to let you know how I use it and how it's benefited my programs. First of all, I have two portals. I have a middle school portal and I have a high school portal. All these portals are my custom content that I want my students to learn, from solos to region music to auditions to my handbook that I have put together over the years, all the way through high school show music and cadences and percussion ensemble, all the way to band music. First off, I want to make sure you understand, I think the biggest power that you can unleash with Ensemble Block is your custom portal. It's your material. I know there's a lot of great content out there, but I want my students to learn my fundamentals first. And so this gives me a place to put the fundamentals where they have supportive lessons and they have run-throughs that they can play along with. So to get an idea of how I do this is, let's say I need a lesson over snare technique in my handbook. Okay. I will just press record on my phone. I will teach to the phone as if I'm teaching to my student. And I know that once I send them that video and I send them the PDF of the music or the XML, they sync it with their notation software and they have the video totally synced up with the notation underneath. It really gives my students a way to focus on what I want them to focus on when they're watching the video. Oftentimes what I've learned with video is that sometimes my younger students especially, they'll just watch the video and go into like TV mode and stop listening. And so the notation really helps them focus on what I'm trying to get across, whether it's supportive text that they put at the bottom or when they're putting the actual notes in, which I think is always amazing. Again, they have that scrolling cursor where the rhythm or the notes on the keyboard are lining up in red, and now to F to D. And you can't get lost. You're watching along with the video, and you can pause it, you can loop it, you can slow it down, you can make sure it's just your part that you see, and you learn how your part fits in with everybody else's. You can have different video viewing options if you create more than one video. You can listen to the front ensemble and just the drumline or both together when you submit them those MP3s. The sky's the limit with what you do with this. And so I've had a lot of fun because I consider myself a creative teacher, and this has given me a creative outlet. So it's kind of matching my intensity as a teacher. Or if I want to dial it back and do something simple, I can just keep it simple as well. Once I realized how easy this was and I could just shoot video and send it right to them, and then it was in my portal in a couple days, the ideas and the ways you can get creative with this just start flowing. For example, when we were shut down because of COVID, I was thinking, why don't we do some Konakol music, some Indian counting? And we brought a clinician in and we learned how to do the thala, and I sent them the PDF. I made a video of the thala because my students were getting lost with the thala, and they could see the syllables, the words as it was passing by. And even I got better at Konakol from using Ensemble Block. Today, when we were going over that, I'm in crutches today, so I wasn't able to be in class for the first time, and it was no problem. I just shared my screen, we watched the Konakol video together with Ensemble Block, and we all got the assignment done, and we're going to get it recorded next week. I've been also using Ensemble Block in my classes, projecting it on the screen. Our schedule has been changed now to block scheduling, so you can imagine my beginners at the end of the day doing an hour and a half of band. I'm trying to find ways to break up the classroom, and so this has been great because I can do my normal class, play like I normally do, teach the students. I go, okay guys, have a seat, let's look at Ensemble Block, look at my hands stacked on top, and you got this great view of how Mr. Aya plays and how the sticking's working. And then again, if I need to just press the lesson so they can hear it again, I can just do that and kind of walk around as they're doing it. I've had many times where I'm doing a chair test. Again, in the notation, it's totally interactive, and I can highlight any measure to any note to anything and loop it, and I could go around the room and just do the chair test. So Mr. Aya is sitting there playing as Mr. Aya is walking around and grading. So it's changed the way I send out information to my students, empower them to go over their own learning. It's flipped my classroom where I'll tell them, hey, learn that lesson tonight. Tomorrow we're going to get into the nitty-gritty. Instead of always introducing, they can do that stuff at home for homework. And it's very easy. It's on their cell phone, it's on their laptop, it's on their desktop. There's really no excuses. I can easily put it into the learning management system. It's a quick link that'll take me to the shelf in my portal or the specific video. and I can tell them, hey, submit it at any tempo that makes you successful. Because the one thing I learned about videos, when students submit videos, even with a metronome, they can still play pretty horribly. So what I started doing a couple years back is have my students stop using the metronome and play along with this video that I made, or a video that I found. But now, even more so than that, we can slow it down to any percentage. We can loop any section we need to. We can zoom in the video, zoom out the video, the notation, everything's customizable. My students know how their music fits in with everybody else's while still seeing their music. And again, like I was stuck in bed today, all the music's right there in Ensemble Block, and I don't need my binder that's in my car, and I can't even barely get out the door. Not only can I put my videos that are synced up in my portal, but all the PDF handouts can go in there too. So the kids have a one-stop place to go to get all my content at any time. There are really no more excuses for my students. More so than that, we're empowering them, right? One of the things I learned as a young teacher is that I unintentionally had these roadblocks for my go-getters where they just, what are we gonna do next month? What do we do for auditions in April? I wanna start learning it now. And then I don't introduce it till later. But because I started getting organized with, this is what we do every year for 6th grade auditions, this is what we do every year for high school auditions, that's all up there and they can reach it at any time. So I'm really empowering them to take control of their own learning and get ahead where they need to, or slow down where they need to. When I started using this, I told the founder of Ensemble Block, this is one of those things where you wonder what we did before we had this technology. I compared it to the iPhone. It's like, what did we do before smartphones? It's one of those things where it's like a game changer, where I really feel like this is the future of teaching and being organized as any kind of teacher. The other great thing about Ensemble Block, besides it being very flexible and customizable, so are their plans. They have tiers now that are way more affordable for everybody, but they can also meet you at your level. If you can only do something, the first year you can only do this much, the next year we can build on, and they really sit down and get a vision with you and talk through what we want to see your portal turn into over the years. And again, this is my system. It's gonna follow me wherever I go. I love my school, but I have my content and I can take it wherever I go next if that happens. Another great thing is it's a great team teaching tool. So for example, in my district, we're using it for all the percussion programs. So we decided I'm gonna do a video on snare chops and another teacher's gonna do a video on their expertise. And so if everybody does a little bit, we're gonna get more content for less money. And so even some of the wind programs are gonna start doing this, where at one school, you have a low brass specialist, in another school you have a woodwind specialist, and in another school you have a high brass specialist, and of course they have the percussion teachers. They're sharing each other's videos, they're getting more content in their portal, and they're lowering the cost overall for all their programs. And again, Ensemble Block has this infrastructure built in now where they can do a lot more than just your custom portals. I'm probably going to have my percussion ensemble online concert produced by them and edited by them to make it look presentable, and so I don't have to do all that grunt work. They have the ability and staff to help you find clinicians, to help you edit videos or create a digital concert, and it won't take you 10 hours. You already have your team built out, and you can just plan with them how you want them to help out. So there are just so many things that I'm looking forward to in the next coming years. I cannot wait to see what my beginners can do when they get to high school with 3 years of Ensemble Block and practicing efficiently and having examples all the time in their pocket ready to go. This has been one of those things that's got me excited about teaching during a really dark time in teaching, where we've had online, school shut down, back on, back off. This is something that I could control by just making some videos and clicking a couple buttons and dragging into a folder, and that I actually had fun doing. And I'm looking forward to continuing to add on to my library in my portal and see what ideas come up next. So I really feel like this is the future of teaching, and I'm so glad to be a part of it, and it's been a lot of fun, and I look forward to continuing developing this throughout the years with Ensemble Block. And so I look forward to using Ensemble Block for years to come. I think this is just the beginning, and you should check it out. This is a lot of fun.